If you're searching for attractions in Hong Kong, but your search only results in the Avenue of Stars and Victoria Peak, this video is for you. Today I've prepared a comprehensive 4-day journey plan for Hong Kong. The itinerary is diverse, including historical landmarks, lively streets, observation platforms, and parks. You can find further information about Hong Kong in my earlier videos where I cover topics such as getting from the airport to the city, choosing a hotel, booking tickets, and the cost of transportation in Hong Kong. Links are in the video description. Since I was staying at a hotel on Hong Kong Island, I was keen to explore this area on my first day. If you get to Taikoo subway station, a 5-minute walk will lead you to this unusual and frightening building in Hong Kong. It is commonly referred to as the Monster Building. Although the building isn't as terrifying as depicted online, it's quite impressive. It's affordable housing from the last century, where buildings were densely constructed. Some windows don't even get sunlight, and the bars on the windows create a particular impression. My visit there lasted about 30 minutes, including taking snapshots. The second spot is a light museum, kind of the Museum of the Future in Dubai or Team Lab in Japan. I was absolutely thrilled with the experience. There are just 7 rooms, each exhibiting unique light art. The waves look real. The whale seems real. So does the jungle. To get here, the closest subway station is Quarry Bay. It's 3 stops away from the Monster Building station. This visit took me about 30 minutes. You can reach the hotel from the museum in an interesting way, by a double-decker tram. You can find its base. Very easily on special trips, the tram is called Ding Ding. It runs exclusively on Hong Kong Island. There are none in Kowloon. To get on it, you need to go to the back door, pay on the exit. The exit is through the front door. The payment is fixed at only 3 Hong Kong dollars, but the city views are simply unforgettable. Be sure to sit in the front. This is a very cheap budget sightseeing tour of the city. Get to the Sham Shui Po district at the metro station of the same name. In the morning, it is better to go up and admire the gorgeous views of Hong Kong on Garden Hill. This is a very easy hiking trail, literally 15 minutes up. The entrance to it is through the May House building, where we will definitely go later. Along the way, you will meet benches to rest. There are almost no people here. Of all the hiking tubes in Hong Kong, this is probably one of the easiest, but the views here are not inferior to those that open up. From Victoria Peak, I spent an hour and a half visiting this place, taking into account the sitting and admiring the views. The next place is located next to this trail. It is called the Mayho. It's a hostel, but there's a free guided tour in English every hour. Guests are shown how people used to live in Hong Kong, what their homes looked like, and what problems they faced. Since we are at the Sham Shui metro station, then it is simply necessary to walk along the streets. There are entire shopping streets, which are called so. A street with toys, a street with shoes, with clothes. There are also many budget cafes, and the locals like to come here just to try something from street food. In one word, the street has a very atmospheric vibe, and it was a great pleasure for me to stroll around. The visit will take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. I personally walked for an hour. Next, we're heading to a metro station known as Jordan. Located here is the famous market named Temple Street. Again, this will be a very intriguing place for those who are curious about authentic things. The market operates from 3 in the afternoon, and you certainly have to try the famous Hong Kong waffles from Mummy Pancake. It's a chain cafe where you can only get takeaways. If you dislike eating while walking, there's a simply fantastic park near Temple Street, no more than a 10-minute walk away. This park left me with a lot of positive emotions. There's free water, free toilets, free Wi-Fi, and much more. Benches. And here you can also admire flamingos and parrots that live here as if in a natural environment. I spent an hour and a half here. We either walk or go up one metro station to Tim Cha Tsui, which is the most touristic point on the map. Tim Cha Tsui Street itself is very popular for its boutiques and atmospheric alleys. By the way, you can have a snack and exchange money at the Chungking Mansion. I propose to start at a shopping center called a museum. It really looks like a real museum. The design of the shopping center from the outside is very unusual and unlike anything else. Inside, it is decorated with a huge futuristic ball, and its coloring adds a special atmosphere. You need to go up to the 6th floor because it's from there that you can see all of Avenue of Stars, which gives you the whole of Hong Kong with all its skyscrapers. Unlike the Avenue of Stars itself, there aren't many people here, so you can take really good photos without people. A stroll along the Avenue of Stars will be a perfect way to wrap up our day, where you'll find a statue of Bruce Lee and the handprints of many renowned Hong Kong actors. Every day at 8 p.m. there is a light show that is truly spectacular. Let's begin our journey with the most famous landmark, Victoria Peak. The tram station lies between the Admiralty and Central Metro stations. There are signs everywhere, so you won't get lost. But I strongly advise you to get to the tram earlier because there will be fewer people. You should sit on the right side of the tram as that's where you get the best views of the skyscrapers and nobody's head will obstruct your photo shot. When you're riding up, sit in the front, and when you're riding down, sit in the back so you can enjoy the sight of the skyscrapers as they disappear. You can spend a lot of time at the peak. There are various gazebos, a shopping mall, many shops, and the most incredible view in the city. You can plan to spend 2 to 4 hours for a visit. I spent 3 hours there. Take a walk through the central neighborhood. In my opinion, the central district is the most interesting area in Hong Kong. There's a street with a lot of lights and advertisements similar to New York. It's a new modern district. If you go a little deeper into the district, you will find a more authentic old quarter, where you can feel the atmosphere of old Hong Kong. There are small Chinese shops where grandfathers have likely been working for many years, or even generations. There are also antique shops, my favorite in general. They're like a free open-air museum. In Hong Kong, there are whole streets of them. A popular shopping street where stalls with Chinese goods are located on a very steep staircase. You have to be careful not to fall down. They sell literally everything from red envelopes and souvenirs to freshly squeezed juices. Manmo Temple. The temple is also located in this district and it will be very easy to find. I was very surprised at how well the 19th century temple blended into the district. Hong Kong students come here to pray for academic success. As this temple is dedicated to the god of war and education, it's small but worth your visit. Today we are exploring East Hong Kong. We need to get to Choi Hung Estate subway station for this. There is a very popular residential building at Choi Hung Station. It's also social housing in Hong Kong. And it's also a place where many bloggers and photographers have paid pilgrimage because it's so unusual. Despite being a regular apartment building, the beautiful coloration of the housing complex attracts hundreds of tourists and photographers. It took me about 30 minutes to visit this place, including chatting with other tourists and taking photos. Then we take the subway one stop. At the next subway station called Diamond Hill, we'll let in as many as 2 passengers. The first place is Nan Liang Garden, a Chinese park in Hong Kong that many people don't think fits into their idea of what Hong Kong is like. The park is very peaceful and serene. There are bonsai trees growing here. You can hear the sounds of a soothing waterfall. There are very wide walkways and there's even a vegetarian restaurant. Nan Liang Garden is connected to the Qilin Nunnery. I was very impressed by its architecture, and I was also told that the temple was rebuilt without the use of nails. It took me about 2 hours to visit these 2 places. The next place is Kowloon Walled City Park. The best way to get here is to Lok Fu MTR station, from where I walked. From this park, it may seem quite ordinary for Hong Kong at first glance, so I suggest learning about its history beforehand to let the place speak to you. The park was built on the site of a formerly illegal city that was controlled by the mafia, where opium trade prospered, along with prostitution and complete lack of sanitation. Hence, it was demolished. In the park, you can see a model of the city and listen to accounts from eyewitnesses. This was my travel itinerary for Hong Kong, and I think this itinerary would suit those who want to see as many places as possible in a short span of time. In reality, there are many more interesting places in Hong Kong, much more than I pointed out in this video. This is the City of Legends. You can learn more about Hong Kong in my previous videos or on my social media pages. If you have any remaining questions, feel free to ask them in the comments.